Howdy friends, today I'm going to show you how I built this bed rack for our Ford F-150 to get our roof boxes up off the bed a bit. If you think you're going to build one of these things, you're going to want to stick around to the end because this piece that I use in the video needs a little extra love to work right. Alright, enjoy the build. I'll see you when we're done to talk about how this setup worked on our trip to the Redwoods. What's that? That's wonderful, thank you. These turnbuckles are here to keep the whole thing stable for moving side to side. But the one over here, right here, keeps coming loose. So I have these cam straps in the meantime to keep things from rolling around until I can figure out how to make this thing more secure. All right, here's the deal. This turnbuckle just isn't secure enough on its own it just comes loose. So I use these ratchets, these cam straps, to sort of get us through. This one held, but this one didn't. So what I'm going to do to fix it is blue Loctite. So I'm going to put Loctite on the threads and then tighten it up, and we'll see if that holds. So here it is, it's done, it works. We took it on a trip from Reno all the way to Crescent City, California to go camping and to go to the beach. We had these things loaded down. We had the back end full of camping gear, and of course we were riding in the front as usual. But this rack was good, and it worked really well, and it served all the purposes that I wanted it to serve. Number one, it gets the roof boxes up off the bed, and that allows us to get gear in and out from the sides. Whereas using just the Yakima bedrock, you really can't access the bed over the side at all. And then with just that, the roof boxes are too low to really scoot under them effectively and get your stuff out. So it's total pain in the butt without this. And with this, it's really easy. I can get gear in and out from the side. It's much easier to crawl back there when you need to get stuff in and out through the bed like usual. The side benefit is now the rear view mirror, you can see underneath these things, you can see out, you actually have visibility, which is nice. There was a moment or two during this project where I thought I'd screwed up. Put it together and the whole thing wobbled back and forth. I hadn't planned on doing the cross bracing initially, but the cables, I actually had those cables sitting around already. So I had pulled those cables out and rigged that up, and that makes it rock solid, at least for driving on the road. Haven't done a whole lot of bumpy road overlanding testing with this setup yet, but we will at some point. Another side benefit of this is that there's no drilling. You don't have to drill any holes in the truck to mount this up. It just, the rails, the cross rails just sit right on the bed, and the U-bolts clamp in to the fixtures that are already there in the truck for the stakes, the bed stakes, and you just 4 bolts, crank them down, and it's on. 4 bolts, you undo them, and the whole thing comes off in one piece. So that's a super good benefit as well. I don't have to assemble this thing every time, and if I can find somebody strong enough to help me get it off, I could probably leave the roof boxes on it. Each one of those probably weighs, well, quite a bit, but we'll give it a try anyway. Maybe 4 people, two or 3 or 4 people can lift it off. But all in all, I'm super stoked with this. It turned out really well. If you want to build one for yourself, you can use, my original plan was to use the super strut for the cross pieces on the top, but I was a dummy and I cut the pieces too short, and I didn't feel like going to buy another set. They're like $17 a piece. So I just used the Yakima bedrock system that I already had, and it worked just fine. You could also use square tube for that, and the Compact Camping Concepts no weld rack towers have two bolt holes at the top, and they're designed to bolt the cross piece, not a lateral piece. So if you use something like that, you might not be able to get away without the cross braces. But all in all, the system worked really well, at least for our use. I don't know if you could put a rooftop tent up there with this setup. Maybe at some point in the future I'll climb up there and see if it'll support my weight, and then some, to see if that will work. But if you like this build, be sure to like and subscribe. I'm going to be doing a lot more of these. And if you want to know why in the world we're using these roof boxes on a pickup truck, well, for one, we need to use it as a pickup truck quite a bit, so the racks can't stay on it all the time, and we can't really use a canopy of any kind. So it's got to stay a pickup truck, but when we travel in it, it's really nice to have stuff that's secure and dry, so that's why we use those. If you want to know how these things work for overlanding, I do have a video on that, and you can click a link in the description, or maybe it'll pop up somewhere, and you can watch that video to find out how these things work for overlanding. Spoiler alert, they work great. So yeah, be sure to like and subscribe if you want to, and we'll be doing a lot more of these in the future. And let me know in the comments what you think about this build, and if you're gonna try something like this yourself, if you have better ideas. Everybody's got better ideas than me. Anyway, happy trails.